light Mark Thompson's way for a little bit.
Nice.
Brilliant.
He went with the lightweight option of no head
No
torch
head.
today.
Nice.
So Simon, let's check in on your pace. What's Mark running?
Pace are we averaging now, Mark? 450 on the button.
All right.
Now, talking about fresh versus heavy legs, I've raced this style distance is one of my favorite distances. In the US, we do 50 miles because, we're like that. And like consistently, I race, for example, my best is like a 5:56 and I run around 6:15, 6:20 in my worst. And then the best I've ever done in an Ultraman was like a 6:30 something, 6:34 at Ultraman, Florida. So 2 more miles, so that's another 15-ish kind of minutes. So that kind of slack up to 20, 25 minutes is even pretty tight for a fall off after the training. But it's something that's kind of saying you can't, it's hard to do much better than that. Even if you train all this volume such that you're doing all these days in zone 2, you're going to have some fade. That's just how it is. I mean, even Simon, who's our world record holder, he ran a 6:03, I believe, that day, or a 6:06, something like that. 6:06, yeah.
6:06.
Yeah.
So that ended up being a 2:58 first marathon, and then I guess closer to a 3:08.
And I'm sure you could do a 5:30 or a low fives if you went and raced a 52 mile or standalone.
Yeah, don't really know your miles, but if you do a conversion, I could work it out.
I mean, it's similar to 84K. It's it's around that. It's 2 miles shorter, so it's 3.2K shorter. But the point being is it's even for the fastest of us, you can train up and hold your pace and run a nicely shaped race, but the fact of the matter is there's going to be a little less in the tank than there would be fresh standalone.
So, well, speaking as the human and the average athlete on this podcast, I live to see the day where I fade and do a 3:08 second marathon in the double. So I'm speaking for the ordinary man here, but ordinary person. But but you're exactly right, James. This is more than I think the way most people look at this is more than 2 marathons in terms of effort and output, and it's very much
we have Tim Franklin.
Oh,
let's go, Cockets.
Nice, the light's starting to come up there.
Yeah, fantastic.
That feels a lot better. You always feel as soon as it starts to get light in any of these long deals, it brings you a little extra energy. You feel like, okay.
You can see there's not a cloud in the sky up above, so I'm sure when the sun pops out,
it's going to get warm.
Warm up.
Keep it up.
Got the fans out there early this morning cheering everybody on.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few, which is great to see, and it's an interesting start to this run course as well. It's a little bit sheltered. You're right, James. It's on the road. Then we sort of duck off a little bit. They're not far away from sort of cutting off this road and going through a small little nature reserve. Footing can get a little bit tricky through there. People have been known in the past to get lost, leading up to it and getting out of the little nature reserve. And so, and you're right, it's a no crew zone. And so the athletes do it themselves. And so for those who aren't quite sure of their way, staying amongst others, staying with the pack is not a bad idea and a bad strategy. We're only 17 or 18 minutes into what for some people will be a 12-hour day.
Yeah,
and I knew that was confusing. So when I did it, I went and ran that little bit the day before or something like this. So I wanted to know how it was going to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if people want to set up a second screen and watch the tracker as well and do the dot watching, what you will find is that I've got the link in the comments. I just had it on screen there.
But Boris coming up here in third. we'll run with him for a bit.
Excellent. On our tracker, the day 3 map is a green line. So all of the days are on the tracker and they'll be following the green line. So if you have your favorite athlete that you want to follow, you can go on to the tracker and you will be able to follow along with them and favorite them and just see where they are. You can also see if they go off course, as one of our athletes did yesterday.
So I see the tracker has Marco in the lead, and
Yeah, Marco took a flyer off the start.